How's it going, world? It's your boy Jamie the Motivator. We're here again on another episode of the Too Crowded Podcast, where I talk to successful individuals about what makes them unique, what makes them stand out, and how they got to where they are today. Today I'm here with Rico.
Rico Chapple, you always got to say that last name.
Rico
that last
Chapple.
name is what make my money.
Absolutely.
All right.
He's going to share with us his success journey and how he got to where he is today. So if they don't know you already, who are you and how'd you get here today?
They know me from my OnlyFans about porn. I'm just joking. No, I'm a fashion designer, 23 years in the game. I've dressed probably every other person in Black Hollywood, from Toni Braxton. I toured with her for 3 to 4 years. I like to say I was the person to kind of help bring her career back when she was on Braxton Family Values, which I also made an appearance on there, several appearances. I was the legendary wardrobe malfunction when we was on tour and the dress fell off of her and all that good stuff. I did Candy Bird's wedding dress, Niecy Nash, Janelle Monáe. I just did Monique for a Netflix special last week. And the list kind of goes on and on and on. Pretty much, they Black, they got some money, they call me, so that's what I do. And then I have, a fabric store. I just opened up a ATL fashion library. So I like to call myself a fashion mogul versus just a fashion designer.
Absolutely, that's big. So a lot of people like to hit the end of success because that's a successful journey. I want to definitely give you kudos to that. But a lot of people like to hear, where you've been and what you drive and how much you made. I like to inspire my viewers about, you've been a household name. Like, how did you get there? Because Too Crowded is about what makes you stand out. I know it's millions of designers, but what makes you stand out?
You gave me like 10 questions in one. Yeah. So I come from absolutely nothing. I'm actually working on a book now called Broken Needles, to where I talk about like my childhood and why I think the way I think now. I remember from when I was in the 4th grade to my senior year, I pretty much was in another home, sometimes 2 or 3 homes at one not necessarily say at one time, at different times. If something didn't work out with my cousins, I'll go to my other cousin's house, or I'll go to my aunt's house, or I'll go to my uncle's house. And up until my senior year, I was kind of like all over the place. So when I got to college, well, before I left college, my dad put me out. He gave me $30. I was working with him. He owns his own landscaping company. And normally working for him, he would give me like extra money. So I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to go to college. It's a big thing because I was the first male to graduate from school in my family. This man gave me $30, and I was like,
what can I do with this?
What? So me and him got into it. He was like, get out my house. I said some words to him. It was it fit the time because I was not that kid. But I said what I said, and I meant it. And we didn't talk for a couple of years. But in college, I typed papers for $2 a page. And this was in 98, 90, 96, 97, 98. $2 a page. I did Even Stevens for $5, Shape Ups for $3, Twist Heads for $20. And then I transferred to Tennessee State University on an architecture engineering scholarship. And I started playing around with a sewing machine. And my homegirl was stripping. She gave me $75 for one swimsuit that I made in an hour, and I was done. After that, I just studied and try to learn as much as I possibly can about fashion design, even though I am 4th generation designer, but I saw my mom do it, but I just never really kind of paid attention. I just watched TV and on the couch, sucking my thumb and played with my ear. That's pretty much what I did. And I just learned everything I possibly could about the business. And for me, the creativity came easy. It was the business, because it was the money, it was the credit, it was to kind of sustain myself for all these years. So I think that's what I kind of pride myself on, being a better businessman versus a fashion designer.
Yeah, that's big because I think a lot of people, have the artistic mindset to be able to, put things together. They don't know how to take it to the public and really have a household name and sustain themselves with that.
I just think Black people, the generation, well, I'm 45, so I grew up in the height of the crack epidemic. So you know,
Crack baby.
well, almost. Look, but my mom was not focusing on teaching me about a credit, or nobody around me could teach and teach me about credit. And I remember my aunt telling me this: "You never did what I told you to do, but you never did the right thing." And I kind of felt like that you didn't know. Like they wanted me to stay home and go to school. What me gonna do in Chattanooga? Like I was just a different kid. I looked at everything different. I never did anything wrong. I just didn't do. I just built my own little road and I made my own little path, and it pretty much landed me in a great place.
So where did you get this? How did you perfect the knowledge? Did you go to college? Did you do a mentorship? Did you do an internship, externship?
I love learning. I'm a history buff. I went to a HBCU. You could not pay me to go to another school. I was going to go.
Pro-black. 100%.
Shout out pro. Yeah, I am pro-black. A lot of people think that's kind of racist or whatever, but I just do believe in the economic development mentally, physically, and all that stuff of my race. That just is what it is, because we've kind of been set back all these years. People don't like to say Bill Cosby these days. I guess he canceled. But if it wasn't for Bill Cosby, like I remember watching Different World on Thursdays.
That's my favorite show, man.
And I said, I'm going to college. I'm pledging. Kappa. I'm going to college. I'm pledging. I want that experience.
Did you look for Hillman?
Oh no, we didn't have internet back then. It wasn't good.
I thought it was a Hillman for real.
Right. So I went to Lane College. I started off at Lane College, and then I transferred. My initial school that I wanted to go to was Tennessee State, but my dad wouldn't sign the papers. His girlfriend at the time wouldn't allow him. Said it wasn't a good move for him to sign for my student loans. So I ended up getting a full scholarship to Lane, based on my extracurricular activities from high school, because I was in like major clubs, and I was like the president, honor society, vice president of the student body. Like I did a lot of great things, drum major of my band, this, that, and the third. So they gave me a full scholarship. I got a full engineering scholarship to Tennessee State. Then I transferred for architecture engineering, and then I transferred to fashion, interiors, and textiles, and then I graduated. But I'm gonna be honest, I love being around my people, and I wanted to know more about my people, because it's Chattanooga, Tennessee. So people will call you a nigga in a heartbeat there. So I knew I did not want to be around that. I wanted to be around my own people and seeing different world. I was like, it's more educated black people in the world versus what I see in Chattanooga.
Correct.
You know.
So have you ever experienced like some races or?
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, I've racist stuff, and even from my own people, but I still kind of keep my own prize. I just trying to surround myself in a world, and I think that's a great thing about working for yourself. I create my own family. I create my own friends. If you are any type of negativity and positivity or negativity, it's a wrap for me.
Correct.
I don't deal with you, period. So that's just for my own mental health.
Yeah, I like entrepreneurship because if it works, it's because of you.
Right.
If it doesn't work, it's because of you. But it still leads you to figure out what needs to be done.
Exactly. Simple as that.
Since being on this journey, what's been some of your greatest successes, the greatest failures that shaped you?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think I've had. People say like that I shouldn't say this, but I feel like I haven't reached my pinnacle of success. Like I've done television shows. I did the fashion show in '09, which kind of helped catapult my whole career to a whole nother level. I won a show in Canada called Stitch. I went there for 3 days. I talked a lot of trash on TV, and won the money. I've done probably every reality show based in Atlanta, from Married to Medicine, Love and Hip Hop, Candy Wedding Special, Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it was at one time that I was on 6 shows at one time. With a store. I had 2 stores at one time. But I just don't feel like I have reached that threshold to where like it's like, okay, I made it and I'm comfortable.
You feel arrived.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm arrived. Like even to this day, I've rented a car for like a whole year and I'm not into cars. So I could drive a hoopty just as long as I can get me to point A to point B. But I fly out and go to work all the time. So I don't. Why do I need a Benz? So
Right.
I just my way of thinking is just different.
So I see you as like a mad scientist. You know, a lot of, and what I mean by that is like some of the most creative, successful people are the ones that really don't go out and mingle.
Right, I
Don't
don't.
care about material things. Don't care about material gain.
I
But
don't.
those are some of the most successful people. How do you deal with that criticism? I know a lot of criticism or
I,
opinions
I'm
will
gonna be
come with it.
honest. At 45, I can give a damn about a criticism. Like it's just how that's how I always. It was always you either too skinny, your teeth buck. Now I got braces. It's gonna be something else. It's always gonna be. The dumbest thing that I think in the world right now that black people do is go to a club and you buy a goddamn section and stand on with the hookah that somebody probably just puffed off of it with herpes on it, like, and you spending $300 for a bottle of Patron that really costs $50. I just
Correct.
don't get it. I never understood that to this day. Like I just never
Right.
understood it just to see so the world can see that you're stunning. So I don't really care about. I get talked about all the time, and I hear it, but I don't pay attention to it. It don't even bother me. You know, I think the term when they say you're lonely at the top, I think it's true, but all of my friends in my circles feel the same exact way. We were to take that $500 that you spent on that section and put a new bathroom in our house or just hang out with our friends and we talk about how we're gonna make money.
Absolutely.
That's just how I think.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely see a more value, and I have that, that middle ground because, I'm a people's person, but at the same time, I'm still introvert.
So you're introvert with extrovert qualities.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes me going out, it has to be a purpose.
Right.
Like I have to have a reason to.
Right.
But then if I don't go out, I feel like I'm not being a person. I feel like I'm not.
And I feel like for me, with some type of celebrity attached to my name, and I hate to use that word, but it costs too much money for me to go out. I'm just gonna be honest. I gotta have the right outfit. I can't be seen
And
a
when you go
million
out,
times.
you have to live up to that standard of your
Right.
name.
I'm
So,
gonna get one cup of liquor and it's
No,
gonna be
they-
in my hand the whole night. But it just the look of it, I don't got time and I can really focus on something way much more bigger versus going now. Let's go out once or twice a year and kick it and have fun and live it up. But I'm gonna be honest, when you've gone out in Rome or the Mafia Coast or I mean even places like Washington or Hawaii and you live it up like that.
You have a different perception of
My
hanging out
perception,
in your
yeah, my
hometown.
perception of hanging out and getting a section in Atlanta, not
It's definitely a different culture.
yeah,
Because I've been traveling the last 2-3 years, and like we really don't dance at all in Atlanta.
right.
And it's one of those things where it's just a facade, it's a status, and it's like I know these people over here. They not even really doing that.
But go to Africa.
But in the club, they
go
are.
to Nigeria and see what they do. That to me, that's living it up.
Right.
So you can say that you get this, but I can say that I've hung out with the folks in Nigeria and they looking like, dun, 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 So it's just a different vibe for me. And my dad always say that I have that 1% of thinking. And that it's one day, I'm gonna pull off one Band-Aid on something, and it's gonna be $1 million idea. And so that's just how I kind of live. Like,
So how do you keep yourself mentally, strong to where you don't? Because it's easy to get analysis paralysis. It's easy to get burnt out because you're always in the trenches. You're always
Right.
business, and you're not really having. So how is that outlet for your mental?
for my mental, I'm gonna be honest. I have to stay the fuck off of social media and stop worrying about everybody else's business. So
yeah,
I
that's
just
the
try to
big one.
use social media just as what it is. Instead of you, you find yourself. I found myself 3:00 in the morning scrolling.
Comparing.
Why this other designer ain't got this, or why so and this, that, and the third. And I think lately, as I've gotten older, my soft spot is family and kids because I'm the last Chappelle. My brother in jail right now. He's supposed to get out in like a week and something like that. But it's like if after me, there's no more, so I have to have kids. So it's like my focus is building my brand to when I actually start in December harvesting the eggs, and I'm having my kids in Nairobi, Kenya. My surrogate is in Nairobi, Kenya, and therefore that I could have dual citizenship. Me and my kids will have dual citizenships, and the labor is 20 times cheaper in Africa, and I can do a small manufacturing facility in Africa and be able to travel back and forth over there without the hassle, because of my kids. So I think for me, the downside of being successful in my eyes is the fact that you kind of wake up by yourself a lot of times, that you can't really go out and date because we next door to each other. So you see me at 5 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Any clock
when
in the
you
morning.
you leave, I'm working, and I'm sure you probably seen me in the same clothes. Like, this nigga ain't took no bath. Because I still be working.
Man, scientist.
Yeah, I still be working and popping that music on, and I still be, that the energy, and it just comes from just me knowing that I got to do what I got to do. Because in 5-10 years, my kids gonna be here, and
So that sounds like you already the legacy mindset of what
definitely.
matters most.
Because I feel like I've lived a straight and narrow life. I didn't get out and do drugs. I ain't go fuck a lot of bitches and hoes and this, that, and the third. And I made sure, like, to stay disease free. Because, a lot of people don't even talk about that. They just talk about like OnlyFans and all that. I kind of walked a straight and narrow and handle my business. So I want to, the fruits of my labor, I want to pass down to my kids and be like, you don't got to do that. You don't got to bust it wide open to make your money. You can do it this way and have a little bit, integrity and all that good stuff.
So you want your kids to go to college, or how you feel about that?
I definitely want my kids to go to college, and this is what I told my nephew. Unlike our Caucasian sisters and brothers, that they're like 10th and 15th year generation college, if I was a son of a white guy and my uncles and cousins own law firms and construction companies, I can have a whole list of things to go choose from. Because how many times that somebody in corporate America sitting next to a white person that don't know shit about what they doing, but they uncle own the building?
Yep.
So I told my nephew, you only have me and your cousin that have graduated, the men that have graduated in the college, and I'm the only one that own my own business. So you don't want to do nothing that I do, so you need to go to college. And so, like, he's a struggling rapper, just called and asked me for some money. Sorry, I can't do it because you're grown now. You got to figure it out. I told you the path that you should take, just so you can have a backup. But yeah, I do want my kids to go to college, and I think and especially for HBCU, the network.
Yeah.
The network. When I walking through the airport with this sweatshirt on, from Deltas to AKAs to Qs. Hey brother, how you doing? What school did you go to? Da da da. It was just a conversation that sparked up. But for a person that didn't go to college, it's nothing. I'm not saying something's wrong with it. They don't have that networking.
Yeah, and that was the biggest kind of like regret for me. Like, my first 2-3 years out of high school, like, I felt like I should have went to college.
Right.
Because everybody, even to the day, people see me like, oh, you're a cute dog, and now I'm starting to get, oh, you're alpha.
Right.
But I know it was just the association of what comes with that.
Right.
When you had that alumni, when you had that
right,
college.
Exactly. And to be honest, my biggest clients are from HBCUs. I have a company called HBCU Collegiate Central where we sell paraphernalia for Morehouse and TSUs. I got the Southern University Dancing Doll contract. I did the uniforms last year. Tennessee State. My biggest client is a graduate from Tennessee State, and we're like best friends. But we ain't the type of best friend like I'm gonna give you a hookup best friend. Correct. She's the best friend. It's just like everything taken care of. She'll randomly send me money. Like, I'm just paying on a dress because I know I got to get a dress in the next couple of months. So here's $500. Here's $1,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When I was first going over to China to open up my fabric store, I said, hey, I need $5,000. She cashed up. She didn't cash up. She Zelled it to me. What she got me $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's just that, like, networking. Just imagine if I wouldn't have gone to college. Like,
you wouldn't have that.
I wouldn't have that type of that money coming in.
That's big, man. As we bring it to a close, I always like to end off on a quote or affirmation that means something to you. For me, I think about yesterday doesn't matter. Tomorrow isn't promised. Today is all we have to maximize our networks, our net worth, our conversations, and be intentional on everything we have. What's a quote that you live by, and what does it mean to you?
Is it a quote or is it something that I just
It's just a
believe
saying.
in?
Yeah.
I believe in when if I ever stop educating myself, it's time for me to lay down and die. Like I believe in always when I made my first $1 million at 34 years old. I blew the hell out that shit.
In 6 months, 3 months.
I was doing everything.
60
I was doing everything. Oh, it's on me. I'll check the tab. And during that time, I kind of stopped learning and stopped educating myself about just little apps and this, that, and the third. And when it all was taken away, I was like left back at square one. So I had to figure out the world is constantly changing with new technology, new phones, new videos, new this, new that, new everything. So I just tell my people, just never stop learning and educating yourself on what's out there in the world. And even people, these kids, I think this new generation, I don't know if we call them millennials or whatever.
I think we on something else now.
It's one of them letters.
All right.
But I think they're so brilliant because they stand up for what they believe in, and the ways that they make money just from doing TikTok videos and YouTube videos, and I'm like, well, god damn.
Yeah.
I'd be like, back in my day, if I could, so I just never stop learning, never stop educating yourself. That's my take home to the people that are tuning in and watching.
Absolutely. So how can they find you, and what do you have coming up next?
My OnlyFans is, no, I'm just joking.
Hey, search his name. He may have one for real. He said he was playing 3 times, but I may be convinced now.
So my go-to is House of Chapple, and Chapple is spelled Chapple. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, House of Chapple TV on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or Rico Chapple. But just Google me. I'm very Googleable. I'm easy to, when you call the business number, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to pick up. So it's easy to find me.
And when I say the word too crowded, what does that mean to you?
Too crowded. That's how my teeth was before I got these braces.
All right, all right man. Well, I appreciate you.
All right, cool beans.